Hey ladies, happy Monday. Welcome to the Monday Muse. I'm going to jump right into it because if you're like me, we don't have time to listen to minutia and what the weather is, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk on bringing back by popular demand the dating widow. And, I just want to preface this by saying I understand that many of the women that are in this group are newer to widowhood and not interested in dating. And I just want to let you off the hook. Please don't feel obligated to listen. There's a lot of work that needs to be done before you're even remotely close to thinking that you want to start dating. So I don't want to dishonor that. I want you to take the time that you need for the grief and for the feelings and the emotions that you need to process through. And so conversely, we have a lot of women that are interested in dating. Some are dating, some have already gotten remarried, but we all stay in this group because we're a sisterhood of women that no matter where we're at in our walk, we are still a sisterhood of widows. And so we support each other, whether we're not ready to date, whether we're dating, whether we have dated and it didn't work out, whether we have dated and gotten remarried. All of that is okay in this group. So I just want to let you know that I'm not dishonoring that. Spend your time that you need. Reach out to me if you have questions, but here we go. So I'm super excited because we talked, maybe 6 months or so ago about the dating widow. And what does that all entail? Well, it's kind of evolved from when we had our initial Facebook Lives on the dating widow into a complete full-blown 12-week coaching program. And what that's about is the dating widow is for anyone that is interested in dating, how to make it fun, easy, successful, even if you've tried before and it was a big fat fail. It's okay. Today's a new day. So I have to say, when I started, I received this past week alone 3 to 4 messages about dating and what that, how do you even get back out there when, there's a really big chance that you haven't dated or been on a first date in years, maybe decades. And so that can be very, very daunting. And that's why I'm really putting some energy into this program and getting this information out to as many women as I can. So I'm super excited about that. I will say, and I think you'll all agree with me, that getting back out there can be very daunting. Letting yourself be vulnerable and opening yourself to what may or may not come to it, right? Some were just kind of ready to dip their toe a little bit and they have a glimmer of desire to start dating. Some of you are really ready and just don't know how to start. So the one thing that I think we'll all agree on is there's a ton of moving parts in the dating world, whether it be online dating, whether it's dating face-to-face, whether it's blind dates, first dates, all the burning questions. Do you let him kiss you goodnight? Sure as Sam hell, you don't go to bed with anybody on the first date. That's just not, you guys, I'm not a prude, but I also am a big advocate for women seeing the value of themselves and not just throwing them out to men. So, there's a lot of questions that you have. There's going to be a lot of uncertainties. There's some things that you're like, oh, absolutely not. This is a deal breaker, et cetera, et cetera. But gaining that clarity, understanding where you want to be in this journey really, really helps you to make those good decisions. Back to that, there's so many moving parts in dating, but then when you add widowhood to that, it really can be kind of overwhelming. I know it was for me when I started dating. And then you wonder what the heck is for you. And it all becomes very, very complex, very fast, because now, you spent these last year or 2 years or months or whatever it is to go through the hardest parts of grief. And then this new desire to get out and live kind of starts creeping up in your heart and in your soul. And that, that's another piece of the puzzle that makes it pretty darn complex. So I'm reading what Jenny says. She says, listen to your gut feeling about someone. If it doesn't feel right, then it isn't. Wow, Jenny, what a great point. I love that. Thank you for saying that, because we all are gifted with a women's intuition. We got to learn how to tune into it and listen to it. And I'll tell you guys, I'm the first to say that if I listen to my intuition, she treats me really, really well. And if I don't, she kicks my ass. So just listen to that gut instinct. Good advice, Jenny. Thank you. Again, if you have a glimmer of desire to date, but you're unsure if and when to jump in the pool, I mean, I just kind of envision this splash, this big splash. You know, it's okay. I'll tell you, when my husband was battling his 7-month battle with esophageal cancer, we were sitting in the living room one evening, and I think it was the first time we openly talked about the realization that we didn't think he was going to make it. We knew that there was a very good chance that, you know, barring an absolute majestic miracle, that he wasn't going to make it. And we were sitting there and talking, and I wrote some notes because I want to make sure I cover on these points. Yeah, we were sitting in our living room trying valiantly to know how to manage the weeks and the months ahead. If we even had months, we had no idea. When you're diagnosed with esophageal cancer, you're given a 15% chance to live. And he was young and virile and strong and healthy. And anyway, this isn't about cancer, but what I'm saying is we had that heart-to-heart talk. And he said to me that he wanted me to be happy. He went on to say that he did not want me shrinking into widowhood. And I captured these notes. I had to go back and find them because I'm a big believer in journaling. And I remember that I journaled a lot through this battle and through this journey of his illness. And this is what I wrote. He wanted me not to shrink into widowhood and become sad and lonely. I was only 46 years old when my husband passed away. And so I really needed to have that validation. And you guys, so many of you say this was your last chance. I'll never find love again. And I'm going to very boldly and blatantly disagree with you. That is only true if that's what you want to have happen. And if that pisses some of you off, I'm sorry about that. But life is for the living. You're going to hear me say that a lot throughout the next months and year and whatever amount of time that you choose to stay in Renegade Widow, which is a group for women to heal, to process, to understand, and to start looking forward. Start deciding what you want next. That's what this group's about. So after a year and a half, I turned a metaphorical page and I made an online dating profile. And that can be tricky in and of itself because you don't know, what do you say? What do you possibly say to put out to the entire dating world? And thankfully, I have a career in communication, in wording things and phrasing things in a way that people receive it. And you're probably sitting there thinking, oh, no, she doesn't, but I really do. Here's what I'll tell you. I could not have dreamed up in my wildest dream the journey that ensued with all the ups and downs of the digital dating realm. So many of you know that I'm in a wonderful, fulfilling, happy relationship. And I've been with Mike for over 6 years, and we are so in love. We're so happy. We truly enjoy each other's company. We respect each other. We are open to all communication. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I didn't have that with my husband. He was a different breed of a man. He was more type A, closed off, da-da-da-da-da. I loved him. He was a good man. But I also knew that I wanted somebody in the future that was going to be more open and forthcoming and be more like-minded in my faith, in my personal growth, in future ideas and endeavors. And so anyway, I'm super happy to report how much in love that I am. And it took time, you guys. You know, you don't go on a first date and instantly fall in love. And however, I will tell you guys, Mike was my very first match date. So my grief counselor, she said, well, you know, Terriann, she said, I think that God really blessed you with a good man because you've been through so much. I thought, well, I'll take it. But it took us a long time to kind of decide that we wanted to go into that committed relationship. And I dated other men on dating profiles, and so did he. Dated other women, not men. And so, again, it's just that open communication and believing, trusting in the process that it's available for you. You have to believe that. You heard the expression about Christmas, you stop believing, you stop receiving. You guys, that is so 100% true. If you don't believe that you can have new love and your heart can be fulfilled again, then you're right. If you think you can, you can. And if you think you can't, you're right. So just know, mindset is so huge. There's there's several different types of dating women. And some of them might be that they want to get happily married or be happily married again. And that can be for several different reasons. They believe and trust in the sanctity of marriage. Even though you got dealt a crappy hand and your husband passed away, you still believe in the sanctity of marriage, and they trust in the process. They trust in the process of love. You know your value and what you can bring to the table, and that's a huge topic. That's so much we could not even begin to possibly cover it all here today. But what you bring to the table is 100% responsible for the kind of men that you attract, the kind of relationships that you choose to be in and stay in, all of that. It's a big, big point. And I mentioned earlier about my the new program that I have, the Dating Widow, and that we cover all of that, because if you're not healthy and you haven't taken the time that you need to process your grief and to really get to know who you are deep down inside, because so many of us married young, we had kids, we're running and gunning, we never got a chance to get to know ourselves intimately. And that's so important to have healthy relationships. The next kind of woman might be somebody that's desperate to be married again, that they don't want anything at any cost. That's all they can think about is getting married again, because they're fearful of being alone. They haven't figured out how to be themselves and to stand in their power and to be a strong, confident woman. They might be unsure of their finances and their money story is skewed, so they think they don't deserve good finances, and sure as hell that's what's going to happen. You guys, you have to begin to take control of your money situation, how you spend money, what you buy, what you don't buy. All of that is part of being a whole, healthy woman. The other thing is they might not see their own ability and value, so they just think that they cannot be whole without a husband, and that's so not true. You know, I think inside of us, all of us, our little girl inside of us wants to have that healthy storybook relationship. But if you don't see your value and you don't stand for what you deserve, and you bring a healthy, confident, amazing woman to a relationship, then you kind of start getting stuck into some things that are not ideal for you. They're not good for you. Another type of woman that may want to get out of dating is you don't ever want to remarry no matter what. And that could be because you don't trust the process. You don't believe it's possible to have a good relationship. Or it simply could be you don't want to mingle finances, or you don't want to lose your husband's Social Security, or whatever it is. Make sure you're making these type of statements and these decisions for, on good practice, on good understanding of why you want what you want. Another reason could be they don't want to ever get married because of old hurts and stuck painful emotions. And that's something that I'm huge on working through with my clients, is getting some of that gunk and stuck emotions out of you so that you can truly come to your new life with or without a man on a clean, healthy slate. Inside, outside, mind, body, and spirit, come to this new life of yours, your new independent life, healthy in all facets and having balance and good communication and all the things that come along with that. Some may not want to get married, but they want a companion to have fun with, to enjoy intimacy with, to travel with, and that's enough, and all of that's okay. You know, so many of us go through life feeling judged, and I think the judgment is coming from deep inside of ourselves. So that needs to be examined, and that's something that we cover in this program. So whatever it is, if you're making these decisions, and again, these kind of statements, I'm never getting remarried again, or whatever it is, make sure you're saying those from a point or a standpoint of healthy thinking, healthy approach to your life. If you're not sure and you just don't know, that's okay. That's totally okay. It's the most important thing is that you recognize it. You don't know what you want. Gain that clarity, figure out how to make those decisions and to plan for your future. The Dating Widow coaching program gives clarity, and it gives you a starting point with all of that we just talked about. So suffice to say, there are a ton of moving parts in today's dating world, and you just don't know where to start. You don't know what to make your launch pad, when it's okay, when you're ready. Some women will put a dating profile up and then they get nervous and scared and they take it down, and all of that's okay. But make it from a conscious, educated, informed decision. And that's what the Dating Widow coaching program is all about, is to give you that clarity. Let's take a couple of minutes. Where are we with time? I'm trying to see how long we've been going, about 15 minutes, so we went quick. Are there any questions? I'm going to go back and read comments. And so Jenny earlier said, listen to your gut feeling about someone. If it doesn't feel right, then it isn't. And I agree. Jenny also said her new love, and I know certainly for me that I shared my new love, it is a different kind of love, and it's really, really good. That doesn't mean your former marriage was a bad one, but God, can you imagine getting in into a bad relationship and not having a good rest of your life? I don't want to do that. Glenn said, Jerry got sick and passed. He gave me permission to date and remarry if it lended itself. I love that. See, that's a good man. I love that my husband had said that too. And it just helped me not to get completely caught up in the hamster wheel of never ending, constantly running thoughts, morning, day, and night. Let's see. So Carolyn, why can't I hear anything? I don't know. I hope you got it figured out. Glenn said, yep, I'm just looking for a companion. Okay. So it sounds like, Glenn, you know what you want and you're kind of out there looking, or you are looking, and, I'd love to hear more about what that looks like and what you think that you might need to learn moving forward. Barb says, Mike said when he was sick, he wanted me to find someone when he passed. He didn't want me to be alone. See, you guys, if your husband didn't say that, it's not because he didn't want that for you. Maybe the conversation just didn't come up. Okay, so Carolyn says, I just compare too much. How do you get over that? That's a great, great question, Carolyn. And we talk in depth about that in the Dating Widow program. So, just the fact that you recognize it right now, that's huge. We can certainly talk about that some more if you give me more details, but just again, gaining that clarity, setting some goals, figuring out a process, and in the program it says a process. Wait, what is that? A process to date or possibly get remarried? Yup. Why would you want to leave to chance one of the most important decisions that you make in your life? Yeah, you need a process. You need to know that, again, you're bringing a healthy person to the table. You're ready. You've worked through your emotions. That doesn't mean that you're not going to feel that grief again. I get triggered. My sister died 40 years ago. I still get triggered. I get triggered about my husband and when he was sick and what that felt and looked like, and it was hard. So we're never going to say, oh, let that shit go. No, it doesn't work that way, but you still need to process it and work through it in a healthy way. And so to that point, some of the gals on here have been my clients. They're already graduated, and then that's a Redesigning Widowhood, Your Authentic Beautiful Life. So that's a whole nother program. We're not talking about it right now, but that's how some of these women get to the point where they really feel healthy, that they are bringing the right things to the table. Let's see. Yeah, Jenny says, too, Carolyn, and I agree, but I think there's more to it. You aren't ready yet, Carolyn, if you're still comparing. I think we're always going to compare. I know I find myself comparing Mike, even how I feel in certain conversations or situations with my late husband. And it's not because I'm pining for my late husband, because I'm 100% invested in this relationship that I have with Mike. But if you're comparing, like, you know, to the nth degree, you have to kind of gauge it out, weigh it out, and see where you're at with it. Carolyn, if you want to chime in and give us some more details, we can talk more about that right here or again offline. Vicky, what if you never got that permission from your spouse? Okay, I don't know if you heard me say it. I don't know if you just got on to this Facebook Live, but a couple of the gals, and I said it was true for me, my husband gave me permission. And if yours didn't, I literally would bet my last $5 that he wants you to be happy and he wants you to find somebody to live your life out with, if that's your heart's desire. If it's not, that's okay. You don't have to date. You certainly don't have to get remarried. But if you have that desire, I would bet anything that your husband, Vicky, does not want you to be alone. I don't know. Well, I know he doesn't. I'm just curious, how long has it been since your husband passed, your late husband passed? And that kind of, to me, gives me a barometer. I've worked with enough clients to kind of know that between a year and a half, anything really after a year and a half, that you're ready to start exploring new options, whatever it is. Lavina, I just don't know how to meet someone. I would like a companion, friend, sweetheart. I'm fine on my own, and I know you are, girlfriend. You're a badass renegade widow, but I'm not a fan of digital dating. Okay. We definitely can cover that. You know, a lot of us, for me, I'm in my mid-50s. When I was younger, I had no trouble going out to happy hour with a couple of girlfriends and flirting with someone across the room and maybe exchanging phone numbers and, you know, going for a date. I just don't want to do that anymore. I think that way of meeting people has gone by the wayside because there's so many other opportunities to date people online. And, you know, if you had, let's say you're looking for a job and you're going to create an amazing resume of your past and what you've worked on before and what your skills are and what you can bring to the table in that job, I don't think you're going to take that written resume and deliver it to every storefront in town. I think you're going to put it online so that you have massive exposure and massive opportunities. And ladies, it's the same with dating. So Lavina, you and I need to chat about that a little bit. We'll see. Now, having said that, you need to take safeguards so that if you do put yourself out there online, that you're safe. You need to know where to meet people so that you're not putting yourself at risk. You sure as heck don't have them pick you up for your first, second, maybe even third date. Get to know somebody. Again, back to what Jenny said, and I 100% agree, listen to your gut, listen to your intuition on that. So, you know, and you know, there's meetups and they have different events, and that's something that you can look for outside of online dating. See what kind of events that interest you and other people are going. There's singles groups at churches. I belonged in Chandler to a very large church, and they had a huge singles group, and they did all types of activities. And if you didn't want to go do a mud run, you could go, you know, volunteer at a homeless shelter together. Whatever it is, there's going to be activities that speak to you and others that don't, that you don't want to do. So Lavina, thanks for bringing that up, because I do want to touch on that it doesn't have to be online dating. I'm a fan of it because I live in a digital world. My business is digital. I haven't met any of my clients face to face. We do everything through video conferencing. And so to me, it feels natural. To some of you, it wouldn't feel natural. So there are other ways. I think there's meetups, there's again, church groups, friends setting you up on a blind date, which, you know, that can be touch and go. But if you're friends and they know what you like and they know what he likes, so maybe they would think it's a good fit. So different things like that. Any other questions? Let's see, we do have, Vicki said it's been 1.5 years. So I'd love to hear, Vicki, are you thinking that you are getting close to ready, even if you didn't get permission? Carolyn, I compare the fact that like he always walked either next to me on the side of the street or behind me to keep an eye on to make sure I was okay, and never in front of me or not wait for me. Honey, that is so true. You want someone that's going to treat you like a queen. I'm never going to settle for anything less. You want to be treated like a queen. You want to feel loved. And I keep looking down because of the glare of my glasses, but you want to feel important and cherished. And so I agree. I wouldn't settle for that. And Mike, I mean, it doesn't matter where we go. He always opens my door. And he's a gentleman, and chivalry is not dead. People, not just potential dates or relationships, but everybody will treat you the way you teach them. So if you teach them to treat you good, that's what they do. And if they don't, later, bro, I'm sorry. I'm never going to settle for less than that. And you shouldn't either. Lavina, me neither. It isn't pretty at 61. Yeah, but you're a hot chick, Lavina, so we'll get you on that. We need to talk. Let's have a sidebar conversation. So anyway, Carolyn, I always share my location through my phone with my sister-in-law and daughter-in-law when I go out. That's such a good practice. I love that. Thank you. That's not something that I had thought of. So thank you for adding that value. So ladies, if and when you are dating or you do date, make sure you do that. Have somebody. And I didn't share my location, but I did call and say, okay, I'm meeting so-and-so at this restaurant at this time. If you don't hear from me in an hour, you know, please take an interest and try to get a hold of me. So I think that's fantastic. Lavina says, amen to being treated like a queen. We deserve this. Yes, you do. We've all been through so much, ladies. So please, please, please always know your value. If there's an area in your life that you need to work on, figure out a way to make it happen. Figure out a way to fix those deficits so that you feel confident, so that you're, you know what you deserve. And that doesn't mean to change yourself. What that means is to grow as a person, to become stronger and more confident. And that's where you're going to find happiness. Okay, so I will be back with another Facebook Live. I got to put it together, and I will let you ladies know when it is, but I'll definitely announce it in the group, and I'll announce it through email. If you're not on my email list, let me know so that I can make sure and add you. And I wish you all such a great week. It's Monday. We have the entire week in front of us. Go out, make things happen. Figure out what gets you pumped and go do it. Life is for the living, and I'm signing off from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate the opportunity to work with each of you and to share this time with you, and God bless. Let me know what questions you have, and I will see you next time. Take care, ladies.